Now, going on to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy tweet on military spending $114 million on DEI news going viral. Now, this comes from Vivek's personal account, and he says, quote, "This is why we have a 25% recruitment deficit in our military, self-loathing poisoning masquerading as DEI. And the kicker is our taxpayer dollars are paying for it." And he did a news article from Fox News, and it actually came from the Oversight Committee, and they say, quote, "Last week, the Pentagon failed its 6th consecutive audit. Last week, they requested $114 million for DEI. The Biden admin's focus on progressivism over warfighting continues to exuberate the military recruiting crisis and calls into question our level of military preparedness." So you want to spend $114 million. And from Vivek's profile, that got 732,000 views and 10,000 likes. So quite a few likes, to say the least. And yes, the military, pretty much every branch, with the exception, I believe, the Marines, every other branch is losing in terms of they are not hitting the recruitment levels. And there are a myriad of reasons for this. Public schools, for example, well, Lord help you if you send their children there, in most cases, not all, but they don't even teach patriotism anymore. Most schools don't even have most schools have political flags. They have American flags, which is a horrifying thought in and of itself. One would think the one flag that would be appropriate would be the American flag because it unites all of us. That's quite literally the point of having a flag for the United States. Now, they're also, because Americans are getting more and more unhealthy, I also think that's kind of part of a cultural issue in which we really need to focus on increasing our health both mentally and physically. I would always argue people need to read more books these days. It's a great way to help grow your mind and learn a little bit about anything. And it's one of those issues where most Americans are not even physically fit to volunteer for the military. Most Americans are becoming so out of shape, it is pathetic. And it's not good because, again, it's increasing the cost of healthcare, it's decreasing their life value, it's decreasing their quality of life, it's decreasing life expectancy. There are a lot of reasons why this should be a bigger topic. Now, going to the comments section, again, the military has had some very unique advertising campaigns, to say the least. The Army had a commercial in which they had where they had a girl that had 2 moms. And they talked about how the women were feminists and fighting the social warrior, and that's why the girl should join the Army. Now, the Army might make sense because there are a lot of logistical roles and not frontline. There's more diverse roles in the Army compared to other branches when you think of all the back-end logistics, the technological, the cooking. There's a lot of back-end roles that aren't necessarily combative roles. So maybe it made sense to have a not combative commercial, although subsequently I don't think so, since now the U.S. is getting more involved in foreign conflicts, they've gone back to the more traditional badass military commercials where they show guys blowing stuff up, breaching doors, which is traditionally how the military has grown throughout the years. Emphasizing the pride of serving your country, it used to be, be the best you can be. And lately, that's not the message we've seen from the military. So I think there are a myriad of reasons why the U.S. military is not hitting its recruitment goals, and I think it is it's a larger issue than people are thinking about, because again, not only are they not reaching it because people aren't patriotic anymore, but it's also because Americans are not healthy. So there are many reasons this is a bigger issue, but in terms of the specific instance, they're also using these new recruiting mechanisms where they are glorifying how the military will actually pay for your gender or sexual transition, and they have actually proud TikTok commercials where they show this, and they say how the Navy is paying for this, and they actually show people in the U.S. military in drag, and they actually have drag shows on military bases. So they're having some very unique recruiting campaigns. I don't think they're working. The numbers do justify my statement right there. But let's go into the comments and see what's the average person thinking. Will this help Vivek increase his number in the polls? Because again, he's down back to about 5%. I believe he peaked around 7 or 8 or 9% in the polls specifically for the Republican nominee for the President of the United States. So he does need to be bold and keep making more unique statements because he needs to get some more supporters. Of course, the question at the end of the day of, will this increase the number of people who want to support him, or will he alienate some people? Let's jump into the comments and see if we can get a small sample size. One of the first comments comes from Mark Sullivan. He says, quote, "Morale is at an all-time low, and this is a primary reason," unquote. This person got 41 likes. Chick Landler says, quote, "Prioritize merit over misguided DEI measurements. Uphold military excellence, not self-loathing policies. Taxpayers deserve efficiencies, not true virtual signaling," unquote, getting 19 likes. Blue Ferret says, quote, our children see we don't trust our government, so why should they? Unquote. Getting 22 likes. And that is another big issue, is the trust deficit. A lot of people, many people, aren't trusting the United States government anymore. For a myriad of reasons, we could actually have a whole episode on that topic alone. But that is yet another reason why I believe recruitment numbers are down as well. James Jinnett says, quote, can't wait for you to implement the, quote, shut it down and get rid of all the garbage nonsense, unquote, getting 31 likes. Mirtha is fine too, says, quote, straight men are not interested in being janissaries for a regime that hates them anymore, unquote, getting 19 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of Whiskey Romeo says, quote, any time an agency asks for funding for BS like this, we should reduce their funding by double the amount they asked for, unquote. And that got 10 likes. See here. Gentry Gevers says, quote, we should go back to don't ask, don't tell, unquote. That got 12 likes. Rovin says, quote, debt, equity, and inflation, unquote. Got 2 likes. Pikachu says, quote, pass an audit first, unquote, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. It is overwhelmingly positive responses for him. A lot of people saying it's dangerous. A lot of people mentioning you're not going to get the best people. Those are getting between 2 and 3 likes about an average. Let's see here. Be Kind Rewind, which, good profile name, and I appreciate it. I'm one of those old souls that actually used a video cassette, or also known as a VHS tape, in which after you watch a film, you actually had to rewind it for the next person to enjoy. Or if you're a dick, you just didn't rewind it at all. And heaven forbid, you actually return to a Blockbuster without rewinding the tape. What kind of monster are you? You deserve that fee that they slap on you for them having to put that VHS tape into a machine to wind it back for the next person to properly enjoy. But nevertheless, this person by the profile name being Be Kind, Please Rewind says, quote, I'm so happy I retired. Don't get me wrong, I'm honored and privileged to have served in the best military known to man. But DEI and ESG are a cancer destroying our country and our military, and it has to end. It has done nothing but drive division and resentment amongst people. The last thing our country needs, our military needs. We're on the verge of losing our military might. That hard power that says, don't F with us, our allies are coming, or we'll F you up, unquote. Someone needs to bring it to an end now, unquote, getting 9 likes. Well, spoiler alert for this person, most countries are probably laughing at the United States. There's never been a more advantageous time for a country to go against the United States or do whatever they want. For a myriad of reasons, including the United States not backing the previous allies that they had, as well as the United States, again, I think every political leader should play the board game Risk, in which you actually have a finite number of resources and you have to learn how to work supply chains, you have to work resource allocation, and at the end of the day, you learn it's not very easy to fight a battle on multiple fronts, and more than often than not, is detrimental to your strategy. The United States is, I think, I don't know if I've ever learned this, but the United States is spending billions upon billions upon billions of dollars working projects and initiatives across the globe that don't directly affiliate or help or assist the United States. And you cannot fight a battle on multiple fronts, but that's exactly what the United States seems to be doing right now. So, small little tangent on that specific post from Mr. Be Kind Rewind. Let's see here. We'll see if there's any more comments here. Interesting. I'm not seeing any positive response, or rather negative responses. A lot of people saying DEI must die, getting between 2 and 3 likes. So this very well, let's see here. Where is this money going to? Accountability, question mark. They can't pass an audit. Why do we get more money? Let's see here. Let's see here. Interesting enough, the opposite of a ratio, a win, so to say, for Vivek Ramaswamy. Again, overwhelming 90+% people all agreeing with his original statement. Now, that being said, what are your 3 cents or what are your thoughts on this particular tweet? Will this increase Vivek's poll numbers? Will it help him out? Could it perhaps hinder him or alienate some of the other prospective voters for him? Be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in today, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments are a great way to leave me feedback so I can know on what things are better to invest in, things that I can work on, make the show better and better, and actually want to actually make the contributions even more effective, make the show more compelling, more interesting. So if you have feedback, I'd love to hear for it, even if it is harsh critiques. I think that is how you grow the most. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.